Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to my cooking edition show. Today we are going to learn how to make easy make sugar cookies. Where right now I'm operating off of a modified recipe from Stephanie on allrecipes.com, I believe. Let me check the fine print. Yes, that is correct. I will leave a link in the description below. But what you're going to want is 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, baking soda in the amount of 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and then you're going to want to throw it together and mix with a whisk into your dry bowl. This you need to set aside. Please remember this. Then, next, we are going to mix our sugar, our cinnamon, which is not in the original recipe. This is mine. Where you mix about what is equivalent to 1.5 cups of sugar and let me remember correctly, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And then you've got another amount of cinnamon that gets mixed into this. You take your egg beater whisk once again and stir. Stir until it gets to this color right here. Then, and here's where I show you exactly what to do. But basically, I'm going to take said whisk and I'm going to stir it around like so. Basically, what you're wanting is this color on your white sugar and your cinnamon mix. And like I said, once you get this, you then stir. Like so. Make sure to knock off all the dust, because every little bit helps, trust me, on this. Then, you're going to want 2 of these, softened. I recommend at least 1 to 2 hours of softening if you're just pulling it out of the fridge. Otherwise, basically, just leave it overnight and prep in the morning, which is what I have done here. Now, then, what we're going to do in our KitchenAid, as seen right here, is we're going to pour the sugar in. Then, we are going to put in the butter, like so. Plop. Toss the rest of that into the trash, because you need exactly 1 cup of butter or 2 butter sticks. Then, what we are going to do is we are going to take, again, dump our butter in, like so, plop. Then, we are going to add our pure vanilla extract in the amount of 2 tablespoons. I use a lot of extra vanilla in mine. Now it's just finding where on earth. There you are. Yes, here we are. The tablespoon, I believe. did those pesky spoons hide themselves? There you are. Haha. I found you. I found you. We're going to want 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And upon adding the liquid, we are then going to add finally 1 egg. You can use like those store-bought egg mixes, but I don't know in how much of a quantity you're going to need, so please do note that. Open up that egg, drop it in, and then set up your thing to mix. And you want to mix this until it looks smooth. Once smooth, we will then add our dry mix to it gradually. Now, let that churn a little. And you add a little more. However, occasionally you are going to need to lift that up and then scrape it down with your scraper tool. Just push off the excess and get back into the bowl, like so. And the smell is wonderful and decadent. This is a much better mix to use than what you would get like for. You then add the rest of your mix like so. And after you let all that goodness stir together, and in case I forgot to mention, the dry mix is 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and half a teaspoon of baking powder, all mixed together. Please do not make the mistake of making this after you have made your sugar mix that's in the mixing bowl first. Now, anyway, get down to brass tacks. That needs just a little more stir. And sometimes you'll have to hold this guy down as he'll go bumpity all over the place, and we want to save his poor little hinges. As you can see, this is almost all the way mixed correctly. However, we need to lift this guy up and scrape the bowl down. Like so. And then get those Then shuffle that down and churn just a few more times before we do this. But before you do anything else, wash them hands. Please wash them hands. Now, I'm going to close my book because the rest is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to show you how we need to do the last part. Okay, we've got our mix. Hold on to that. First, we need our two pans, which are together like so. First, we need to set them to the side and begin what I like to call the buttering phase. Basically, you butter it with real butter. Please do not use margarine, as this is a piss poor excuse for butter. Margarine is basically hydrogenated oil, where if I want oil, I go for vegetable or something else, or even a nice olive oil. But anyway, and now there's no Popeye here. But basically, we are greasing up our pan like so. So we can get our cookies on into this pan as quickly as humanly possible. We then add our greasing you again with the second pan. Please do not skip this phase, as your cookies will more than likely turn into pancakes upon your beautiful little things, and it will tarnish them like this poor bastard. Because that is the mistake I made long before, and in doing so, incinerated my poor little pan. So please do not make my mistake. Anywho, now that we have got those both greased up and raring to go, and curse you, little fridge, close. We are going to wash our hands, because always remember, wash your hands after you do anything. See, there you are. As you can see, it's taking me a moment to find stuff, as I've got to look through my poor little mask's holes a little. And this mask was made by the Angry Mask salesman or shop. I cannot remember for the life of me, where I'd honestly have to stop the recording and look it up. But his actual name will be listed among this description. So please, 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 watch it. Check it out. It'll be great and awesome and good. And you'll love it. Anyway, on to my secondary point. And please, use paper towels over your towels you might have hanging, as without proper washing procedure on your towels on a constant basis, they can carry lots and lots of germs. I'm not a germaphobe, but I know that most kitchens that have that do not wash their towels regularly. So it can just build up after a while and cause those hands you just washed to just become re-grimy. This is basically Commercial Kitchen 101 on this, so please hold while I finish up on this. Now, we lift up our thing, and we tap, 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 to get the rest off, and then we unscrew. As you you can see, this looks like this with the exception, without the flour, because there was accidentally a bit of excess on the top. Please remember to mix that. But anyway, I'm going to bring our pans over while I put our cookie mix on. Please note that these guys are fairly scarred up from just accidentals from my oven not sounding off like it should. These have been fully washed and I've tried to scour them, but that's a no-go. They basically said, bleep you, we are clean as we're gonna get, so get used to it. Small fry. But I'm not happy with that answer, but it's what I got to deal with. Now, as you see, we are making our mix into balls, which we will now compress and flatten on the tray. There is a final step to these cookies, so please stay tuned. This should make about 12 large sugar cookies. Now, please note, if you use darker pans like this one is, this will cook faster. This is a griller pan, not a cookie sheet. As an FYI, I do not have a secondary and I throw them in as one batch. And please make sure to time yourself. Always use timers when you're baking. Otherwise, you can have little itty bitty accidents that you had no intention of making happen. But put your cookie like so, and off we go. Where this pan is going to cook faster than this pan, due to just the coloration difference, because this will absorb heat quite a bit differently, as it's got thicker metal than the cookie sheet, and it's basically meant for retaining heat, lots of it. But I've got to be careful when I'm making these, because sometimes I just take a little too much and there's just not going to be enough for 6. As I'm a big dude. I like big cookies. Or basically, my inner cookie monster is trying to convince myself, my common sense self, to eat all the sugar cookies I'm baking. And it's like, no, I must resist the temptation. The last batch came out pretty good, given I had no timer. That was my practice batch. Sometimes, though, you're going to have to, like this one is kind of a little extra crumbly, kind of mix it together again. Because sometimes these guys do not want to mix right. So it's like, you gotta basically work it like you were working a piece of dough. Then roll it back into ball form, flatten it, and like so. The art of cookie making is fairly easy if you know what you're doing. However, when you're like me and a little on the slow side at times, it can be a little more tricky. But I've learned a few tricks. Now, I'm probably only going to have enough for 15 of these little buggers. Or I've got to decrease my size. And come on, get back together, you little bugger. Well, nope. I got only enough for 11 of you little buggers, apparently. Or I just had a little too much extra flour, which is also very possible. But that's also why I have extra vanilla. Yes, to help get enough liquid in there. Because vanilla does help. Now, as you can see with these thicker ones, we're going to take some of these and reshape them. Because they are extra thick and they could use a little thinning. Now, please note that this recipe is basically for a much smaller cookie. Now please hold while I reshape from what I took. Come back here, you. Because I hate sending out stuff which is not full on the tray. And you, get back here. You don't get to run away. And before I put that last one back, I'm just going to reapply some butter there because it feels a little light. Because I want my cookie to not go, I'm going to stick to you now. Yes, nothing like an odd, comical cook to get you through the day. Now, what we are going to do is take these babies over to the oven and put them in once this chimes at 375. If it'll work. Sure. Now, you're probably going to have about a 6.5 minutes to 7 for the oven to get hot enough. Once hot enough, these cookies are going to basically be baking for about 8 minutes, since these are soft serve. If you want harder sugar cookies for milk dunking, I highly recommend you do those for about what is equivalent to 8 to 16 minutes. But set it at 13, check them. Otherwise, you might accidentally incinerate. Because every oven is a little different on heat. So please mind that. But anyway, I'm going to see if this has a pause button. Pause. Hey, I'm just spreading butter everywhere. I sure washed my hands before trying to mess with this blasted ready bloody phone. So, hold please. And apparently, we're just going to stop right here. I will come back with the finished product.